Hey guys, this is Phil Rogers over at the PHIL N FLORENCE YouTube channel. Well, with this coronavirus settling in all around us, we're social distancing and shut in, so to speak. Everybody's sitting around looking at YouTube videos and scanning the internet. Well, we find ourselves ordering stuff. Well, I did it again. I ordered something. Let me show you what it is. Alright, remove some of this packaging. What is that? What is that? You know, I saw this recently over on another channel. Ruben over at the Mad Swine Backyard Barbecue, he had this Hunsaker rib hanger. I said, you know, I got a rib hanger. It's a Weber original, but no longer made and available. And this one here, Ruben had 23 racks of ribs hanging on this thing. You see how it's made? He had them hanging this way. And so you've got the space from here to here, you know, where half of the rib was hanging all the way around the perimeter, and the other half was going in about this far, and you got all this space here. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to be cooking 23 racks of ribs at one time, but I might be cooking 6 or 8, and then I can hang some other stuff on here. This thing will cook a lot of food at one time. Let me take the cellophane off of this to wrap off. Hold on. Okay, I got it unwrapped. Here it is. It's pretty simple. It's stainless steel, nice heavy gauge. It'll last a lifetime. See how it's made? Hey guys, just for a little side note, if you watch this video and decide you want to order one of these Hunsaker rib hangers, when you go to their website, make sure you go slow and you look, make sure you're on the right tab. What I did, I was in a little too much of a hurry. I clicked on the accessories tab on looking at your left for the Hunsaker drum smoker, and if I'd have just looked over to the right, there's another tab that says WSM or Weber Smoky Mountain accessories and upgrades. That's the one you want to pick. So the only difference in the two rib hangers is on the Hunsaker drum smoker, this rod here, the support rod, it sticks out a little bit with a little nub, about 1/4 inch. And what that's for is in their drum they have strip brackets on 3 places on the drum for this to catch in a notch and it's 5 notches. So they use that for their design on their drum. But the one for the Weber Smoky Mountain, you don't need that nub sticking out right there from this rod, because that will prevent it from resting on the drum tabs in the Weber Smoky Mountain. So this is just to make sure you don't do like I did. And I fixed it because I just took my cutter, my side cutter blade on my grinder, and I just cut that nub off, which made it fit perfect. But they'll send you the right one if you order the right one. Don't do like I did. Don't get in a hurry. Go slow. I just wanted to point that out to you. They're good people over there at Hunsaker Drums. And after we emailed each other a couple of times, we all got on the same page, and they just said, well, I see you took care of the problem. All right, don't say I didn't tell you. A larger ring on the bottom, a smaller ring on the top, and you can hang ribs all around. And if you don't want to hang them that way, here's another piece that's a part of it too. It sits right on the top. Alright, that's what it looks like. You see that? Of course, doesn't matter where it is. You could design your ribs and meat to hang in different ways in sections. So I can see me using this, utilizing this, and you know, I just got a new stacker ring and I'm already visualizing how I can set this up on the WSM without the stacker or with the stacker and cook below it, all that room below. So I'm just adding some more toys to my cooking factory. And of course, along with this, you get a set of 6 hooks to hook your meat on. You know how you hang meat, how that works. So if y'all are interested in this, and Mark Hunsaker over at Hunsaker Smokers, he's not giving me or paying me to do this, but I know quality and something good when I see it. Go over there and check them out. They sell smokers too, drum smokers, which are real nice. All right, I might take it out there and set it on top of that WSM and show it to you before I leave. So, all right, we're out here at the cooker, and you see I've got the Weber Smoky Mountain with the 10-inch stacker ring from Cajun Bandit. Here's the midsection. Of course, this stainless steel door is from Cajun Bandit, but you got a lot of cooker there. Well, let's see what's under the hood. Now, I'm not using my hinge, I've just got this lid sitting up there, so we're going to just take that off. They pull you in a little closer. Okay, as far as the Weber Smoky Mountain goes, here you've got your basket in the bottom, charcoal, and I put another 21-inch rack in there just for safety, and the main reason is to put this fire dial on it so I can get a little protection. Now that gives me a little protection from so much heat and fire, and especially flame up, and the ribs won't burn as bad on the tips hanging down. So hold on, I'll show you how I'm gonna put this together. It's pretty simple going forth. No more racks in there. It's gonna be hanging. Put in with that 10-inch stacker. Oops, I gotta turn it over. See, on the Weber Smoky Mountain, the flange has to be on the top, the flange side. The bevel side fits down in the flange on the WSM top. So I need to unpin that lid and take it off. There we go, get it out of the way. And your Hunsaker Rib Rack. There we go. Now you can hang your ribs. You got plenty of room for those ribs to hang, and you're gonna have extra space away from the heat down there. And I probably could just take that fire dial out of there. I'll have to do it both ways and see which way works the best. Then just put your lid on. This is not anything new, but it's new to me. My buddy Ken over at Heavy Metal Barbecue, he's been doing this for years.
Now the problem I was having before is when I'm hanging a rack of ribs that's 20 inches long, bottom of your ribs are right down there, almost dragging in the coals. With this setup here, with those extension rings and that hanging rack on top of here, that should give me at least 18 to 20 inches, depending on how long the ribs are, a buffer zone to where the ribs aren't going to be down into the coal bed, which means I'm not going to have burnt rib tips, and I just think it's going to be better. Now, as you can see, that stacks very nicely there. I could hang if I want, or I could eliminate this ring and I could set racks up in here over direct coals. I could put a rack here, I could put a rack here, put a rack here. I could have several levels going on all at one time.
So go over there and to Heavy Metal Barbecue and see how he sets his kettles up and WSMs up using stacker rings. This same type stuff. Okay, watch this. Here's my kettle. I just took the lid off. Charcoal's in the bottom on the charcoal grate. Alright. I'll take my stacker ring, 10-inch Cajun Bandit stacker. And you notice the side with the ridge on it, that goes on the kettle top. The kettle top's it's beveled over at the top. So you flip it over the other way to fit down in the WSM. Anyway, put it on there. See what I got? I might need to raise you up a little bit. Hold on. I think you can see that a little better. Alright, my kettle's down there. Got my 10-inch Cajun Bandit stacker ring. Then, hold on, Angus. Then put in your Hunsaker Rib Rack. It fits right in there like a glove. Just no wobble at all, no slop. Then you put your top. Pretty nice rig, right? Look at there. As far as ribs, I wouldn't try to attempt whole racks of ribs, but what you can do. Now, if you are like a lot of pit masters and you have already got a rotisserie ring, you can add that rotisserie ring on there and then put the 10-inch stacker on top and then put your rib hanger on there. And then you setting that thing up real high. You see where that is? Then you're turning your kettle into somewhat of a Weber Smoky Mountain without the door. How about that? So you can hang full racks of ribs in that if you happen to have both rings. And there's not one thing in the world wrong with this, cutting your ribs in half. But the advantage of this, see, in a regular kettle, and I've done it, if you've got some type of heat deflector, you can spread 3 racks of ribs out across a 21.5-inch grate. And if you've got a stacker, a warmer rack, you can do 2 on the bottom and 1 on the top. And I say 2 because usually people are using the slow and sear on one side, but now if you're using a heat deflector, you can use the entire. What I'm getting at is with this, Ruben had 23 racks of ribs hanging around this thing. Well, if you cut them in half, you can have 23 half racks, which means you've got 12 racks of ribs on a Weber kettle with this 10-inch stacker and this Hunsaker Rib Rack. And you can't get 12 racks of ribs on a kettle without a little help and ingenuity. If you've got a lot of people to cook for, you can hang a lot of half rack of ribs in here. You know, in a half rack of ribs, time you hook it, it'll be perfect hanging over the charcoal. And there's ways you can do the charcoal. If you wanted to cook around the edge with your ribs, you could push your charcoal in the middle. I mean, there's different ways to do it. But just thought I'd show you that. There you have it. How about that? That kettle looks like Little Red on steroids. So we're talking about cooking a lot of ribs for a lot of people. I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a few ways you can set these things up. Yeah, boy. All right. You take care now. Stay away from Corona. I'll see you later. Until next time, this is PHIL N FLORENCE.